about the age of 10, I was selected by the junior school to go to art college in Birmingham. But Mum and Dad decided otherwise because it was the era of the beatniks and it was associated with duffel coats and drugs. When I did pass 11 plus, I just naturally veered towards art. And my teacher there, Mr. Hart, he used to let us or encourage us to stay after hours and paint. And in the background, he would play Miles Davis. He gave me top marks constantly. Come GCE time, I failed art. I left school and moved to London to join a band, but always felt the need just to draw or paint or even doodle. Every few months I get this big urge to splash the paint about, yeah, absolutely. I ran out of canvas, so I found an old bit of wood downstairs and I just had to paint. It's not a good idea to paint on MDF because the chemicals, the acids in it, will eventually seep through, especially if you use water-based paint. I just have the urge to paint. I just have to paint. They don't stand out. It's a whole, it's a texture. Maybe it's a landscape. Could be a landscape. I love purples and reds. It's just paint. It's just marks on paper or wood or whatever. It doesn't have any specific deep meaning for me. I've read lots of things about art, and if I didn't read about it, I would just think it's a nice picture, a very, very nice picture. When I read these descriptions by highbrows about it, I can't get the connection really. Maybe I should have developed that, but I was into pop music as well, and slowly that turned into jazz and rock, and it got me around the world, so I've no regrets about any of it. A keyboard can be anything, can be a drum kit or a cello or an English horn, saxophone, can be a whole orchestra. The biggest break came with the title music for Get Shorty with John Travolta and Danny DeVito. I was fortunate enough to co-write that with another guy. If you can stay for the credits, then you'll see my surname with your binoculars on. The ironic thing was having a wife for 20 odd years who was in the film biz very successfully, and then when we split up I actually did the music for a film. I was fortunate enough to go to the American film market, to Milan, MIFED, to the Cannes Film Festival several times, partying till dawn, seeing another side of life with more noughts on the end. That's history now, that's gone. I'm on phase 3 of my life now. There's a proliferation of film, video, creative companies around, and they all need to have licensed music. I've registered my tracks with my own music library. Been practicing that for 3 weeks. It's so heavy.
I bet it is.
Wow. Should we have a listen?
Yeah, come through. Yeah.
I'll have a sip of coffee. Forever those.
Go away, come back to Strawberry.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go then.
Pleasure to work with lots of musicians. Elkie Brooks, Bette Midler, used to do lots of sessions. Chris Isaac, lovely man. did TV shows with him, and many musicians. Robert Plant used to come and sing with my band. At the same time, he was a member of Led Zeppelin, and consequently brought lots of people to our gigs. When I was young, it was the drums. The Beatles came along, Dave Clark 5 came, the Kinks. I was fortunate enough to work in Drum City in the very early 70s, and fortunate and lucky enough to go to Ronnie Scott's for free every night and see some of the great jazz artists of all time. Dizzy Gillespie, Elvin Jones, many others. I performed since I was about 13 or 14, playing drums with pop groups in and around Birmingham. I moved down to London in 1969 or 70, joined a band down here and rehearsed with them for 2 years and got the sack because I was too jazzy. And within a week of getting the sack, maybe 2 weeks of getting the sack, I was on a plane to Kenya, and then from there to the Seychelles, and then back to Kenya, and then the same the following year. So I was very fortunate. Musically, I heard a few drummers. That was the early 70s, and then I returned. I went to Gambia in 1977 and found some drummers out and watched them, played with them a bit. So then the year after I went back to Gambia and been going back ever since. I tried to bring in 12 drums from Senegal. Unfortunately, my then wife's mother decided she'd send some fresh fish. I got a phone call from customs to come down and examine this package that was smelling. I got the drums. That's a shaker, as far as I know, that a witch doctor who lived in a cave in Kenya gave me. Must be 12 years ago. I met him, I was with a girlfriend in Kenya at the time, and we went to a village, and there was this guy sat in his cave, and I gave him a few pence, and he gave me this, and he gave me a little token to put around my neck that would protect me from something or other, but he was speaking his tribal language, so I didn't have a clue what it was. It's just textures, and maybe it's a little bit mysterious. What is it? Hopefully pleasantly, what is it? And oh yeah, that bit's nice, and this bit, and I like that, and you get an impression of it. So it could be anything to many people. Like music. Some love songs make me sick, some make me have lovely thoughts. And that's the same with painting. Everything is different. Nobody's right, nobody's good. We all march to the beat of a different drummer.